Welcome to Lagos Update on the City of Lagos TV show, where we'll bring you latest news development across the city of Lagos. In view of the ongoing Lagos State 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing, more ministries under the able leadership of the commissioners are actually giving impressive accounts of their stewardship and achievements of their ministries. So stay tuned as we keep you posted on recent briefings. We'll be right back on Lagos Update. You're welcome. In continuation of the ministerial briefing, the Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Okwe George, gave a breakdown of the significant milestone achievements of the ministry. He also noted strategic efforts and policy initiatives taken by his ministry to actualize its set objectives.
We always try and ensure that year in, year out, we try and deliver value. Over the last couple of years, you see the developments of the various infrastructure around the state. You see the blue line running, you see the red line coming on stream. You see us that we're trying to develop the airport. You see the Oyedepo link bridge. So there are things that you can point to and see. You look at the Oyedepo, the various interventions in our social protection. So, we're able to tie what is going on with also actual tangible things you can see. We'll also find that we've delivered real economic value. When you talk about us as 2024, we achieved a budget performance of about 87%. So I think that also shows that our resources were channeled in the rightful places and they were impactful, and they also led to impactful programs. Our stability has been very, very important and key, which has led to visible gains. We've risen in Lagos well over 10 to 12 places in our global startup ecosystem index. So Lagos remains home to over 500 startups. We've become the fintech capital of Africa. We account for more than 73% of Nigeria's total startups. And you see, our economic conditions are showing signs of easing. So when we look at inflation, we've seen that there's been a moderate decline in our food inflation from about 43% to about 31%, so which also has helped offer relief to our citizens. And that also points to the fact that all our intervention programs have also helped. And so typically what you find that there's usually a lag between once the budget has been signed to when implementation. So Q1 normally things tend to be a bit slower, but then things pick up Q2, Q3, and Q4 as we go ahead. But to speak to specific terms, as at the end of the first quarter, we just finished our quarter review. We found that we're standing at the state has achieved close to about 78% of its revenue targets for that quarter. And I think, again, that just shows and underscores our healthy fiscal performance. In terms of the breakdown, our expenditure, our recurrent stood at about 78% performance, whilst the capital recorded a performance of 52%, which again speaks to what I was just talking about, saying that, initially you would note that typically in Q1, there's this modest capital performance due to natural lag between budget approval and full commencement of the procurement process and projection, execution cycles and everything, when we then gain a lot more traction in Q3 and Q4, and we close out usually strong. But looking at our past trend, we've always managed as a state to ensure that year in, year out, at least we have a budget performance of a minimal of close to 75-78%. So I'm pretty optimistic that this year would be the same. For us, as of 2024, I believe our GDP stood at around the 55.7 trillion naira mark. That was also represented an increase of close to 29% from where we were in 2023, which was about 43 trillion naira. So I think this, as we sit, remains one of the most current official figures until we wait for the computation of the 2025 GDP numbers and they're officially released. But when you measure us as a state in terms of our purchasing power parity, you find that Lagos has an estimated GDP of close to about $259 billion. in 2023. And I think, depending on how it's reported, I'd just like to say that records and puts us as one of the top 3 largest economies in Africa. It's either 3 or 2, but one of the top 3 largest economies in Africa. So I think as a state, I always say that we're lucky and we're burdened by the fact that we're a state that is a subnational, but we also have a lot of indices that portray us as a national. And at any point in time, we want to ensure that the data that is out there is reliable, and it's you can ensure that as you come to the state, you can always come and ensure that whatever you see is what you get in terms of the actual information that is out there for a state like Lagos.
The Honorable Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akiyemi Bankole Ajibutafe, gave an impressive statistical data of efforts of the ministry under his able leadership at the Lagos State 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing. Key fundamental areas highlighted were purposeful strategic efforts to provide jobs through employability programs and skill acquisition projects.
The ministry, in collaboration with Human Capital Partners, HCP, has successfully onboarded a total number of 2,383 participants for the Graduate Internship Placement Program, GIPP, in year 2024. Unemployed graduates were empowered with employability skills ranging from creative thinking, problem solving, and decision making, written and oral communication, teamwork, interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence to personal effectiveness, and professional ethics for a period of 3 weeks. During the 3 weeks of intensive training, a stipend of 30,000 was paid to graduates as support aid for transportation allowances and the purchase of data for both virtual and physical sessions. We have the Lagos State Job Fair too. As a ministry, we deem it fit to highlight another achievement made at the Lagos State Job Fair in collaboration with Human Capital Partners. The Job Fair creates ample opportunities for job seekers to connect with recruiting agencies, off-takers, and sponsors at the event. The platform provides avenues for job seekers to interact and network with employers. This is also an opportunity to submit their resume and participate in interviews, ultimately increasing their chances of securing employment. Our Employability Skills Program. This is a training in collaboration with Wave Academy. In the ministry, collaborated with the West African Vocational Education Academy, WAVE, to train 180 unemployed youth on soft employability skills, time management, problem solving, teamwork, and managing expectations. In 4 selected LGAs and LCDAs, namely Ikeja, Egbedimu, Otawuri, and Isolo in the States. Participants were given 2 weeks of intensive training followed by 1 month of job shadowing in various organizations. Over time, about 1,450 unemployed youths have gone through the WAVE employability program. The ministry established 5 job centers in designated areas, namely Ikeja, Badagry, Ikodu, Lagos Island, and Ekpe. This center serves as hubs for job seekers, providing them with access to career guidance, counseling, and training programs. This is a strategic move to promote employment opportunities, skills program. This is a skills program development and economic growth. The employability skills training ran simultaneously in 5 job centers, equipped unemployed graduates with soft skills for managerial expectation of jobs from various sectors, CV writing, teamwork, etc. 500 unemployed graduates benefited from the employability skills training at the job centers.
And finally, from the 2025 Lagos State Ministerial Briefing on this broadcast, the Honorable Commissioner for Innovations, Science and Technology, Tubosun Alake, gave account of key strategic projects initiatives by the ministry at the ongoing Lagos State 2025 Ministerial Briefing. He noted that these key projects is in line with the vision to make Lagos a smart city in all ramifications.
When we look at the first project, and I think this is a project that we have been talking about for quite some time, is the Metro Fiber project. And this has been a very marquee project for the state in which we seek to drive Metro Fiber docks across the state, We had reported last year that we had almost completed 3,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable. But today we wanted to mention the impact and what this has been doing, because it's much more than just connecting points of interest. It's much more than just proliferating fiber. What has been the impact over the period that we have been driving fiber optic connectivity across the state? And so you'll be pleased to know that between 2023 actually and 2025, more than 1 million people have been connected to the internet. This has spoken positively to connectivity in education, in health, and in many, many other sectors of the economy. We continue to drive fiber optic proliferation across the city, and we hope to report increasing gains in that. I'm very pleased to say that Engineer Ganyu Oseni, who is a special advisor to the governor in broadband technology and innovation, has been tasked with driving connectivity across the state. And he's off to actually a roaring start as well. So we expect under his administration and under his driving this particular vertical, we will see much more impact in this area. We do not stop. Lagos has the highest connected density in the nation. We have been able to spread fiber optic ducts to areas that have been less connected. When you look at places like Ikorodu, when you look at places like Alimosho, this has allowed the major players, the telco players, to also expand their infrastructure to these areas. When you look at Ikorodu, when you look at Alimosho, and so new internet subscribers to the telcos have emerged over the past 2.5 to 3 years. Going on to another marquee project is the Safe City project under our Smart City project. I'm pleased to inform that in conjunction with the Ministry of Transportation, we've been able to initiate 4 major areas for intelligent transport systems. So when you look at places like Alakpere, when you look at Allen Avenue, there is now information technology enforcement of traffic rules in those areas, right? This is under the Smart City project that we've been doing for quite some time. And those areas now have IT assisting traffic enforcement officers to make sure that traffic management is streamlined in those areas.
And that's a wrap on Lagos Update this week. Do care to join us again for another interesting package on our next broadcast, where we keep you posted on the Lagos State 2025 Ministerial Briefing and many more stories around the city of Lagos.